Frank, dear?
Fiddlesticks!
Language, my dear Franklin! This is not some seaside fish market where you can squawk insensitive expletives like a common sailor.
I'm so sorry, Miss Ash. It's just that I'm...
Well, come on now, you sweet stumbling sidekick. Tell me, what's going on?
I'm interviewing Dr. Taylor today, and by golly, by gum, I'm so
Disinterested? Detached? Perhaps distracted? Ooh, out with it!
I'm so darn nervous. She's so smart. I just don't want to mess this up. She's a
Oh, my dearest Frank, you're simply feeling anxiety on account of your romantic fascination with our resident brain function specialist. Well, why didn't you say so, you silly lovebird?
Oh, well, could you possibly help me? So that I won't mess everything up?
Heavens, no! Now, why would I do that? I strongly suggest that you put that noggin behind your beak to good use for once. Or you can just cancel the interview. No use trying to force your brain to do something it doesn't want to do.
Oh boy, maybe you're right. What am I thinking?
Whoa, okay, now hold on. What is going on over here?
Oh, Oz, dear Frank is concerned about his interview with a Miss Dreamboat. Poor boy is lovesick. Isn't that hilarious?
Miss Ash, don't you have an important meeting to get to?
Oh, of course. You are so right. I have my meeting with Patricia Featherworth to discuss my daytime television talk show appearance. I'll just be taking my leave. Good luck, you two.
Oh, maybe she's right. Maybe we should call off this interview. I'm so nervous.
Are you crackers? Absolutely not, Frank. This is an important discussion about the brain and conflict. What do you know better than anyone?
Why, brain function, of course.
And wasn't it you who told me that the best way to overcome an obstacle is to tell your brain what you want it to do?
Yes, I did. I did tell you that.
And who did you learn that from?
I learned that from Dr. Taylor.
Then I think you owe it to your listeners and your hero to have this wonderful discussion. I'll be here just in case you need anything, but you carry the interview.
Oh, Oz, you're the bestest friend a bird like me could ask for.
Okay, we're all set up for the virtual interview. Dr. Taylor is ready when you are.
We're ready.
All right, folks, welcome back to our special podcast discussion. Frank is ready to interview one of his favorite humans. Take it away, Frank.
Hello, everyone, and we are back, and it's time to interview a special guest, Dr. Arlene R. Taylor, Ph.D.
Hello, Frank. I'm always happy to hear your voice.
I didn't know that.
For one thing, I like the sound of your voice. I am auditory, you know that. And even more important, I appreciate chatting with one of my favorite fine-feathered friends who is interested in brain function.
Thank you for that compliment. It's my pleasure.
The text you sent said several listeners had asked about conflict and what could be done about it, if anything. Tell me more about that, Frank.
Well, as you know, Doc, conflict is expensive in many different ways. It tends to involve low levels of emotional intelligence skills. Skills that can help you manage emotions more successfully, especially the protective emotions of anger, fear, and sadness. Conflict happens everywhere: homes, schools, and the workplace, to say nothing of politics and wars. You know, they let their emotions run riot and say and do things that create conflict and hard feelings.
Well put, Frank. Dr. Goleman, a leading expert in the field of emotional intelligence, has been quoted as saying that low EQ makes smart people stupid. And wars triggered by conflict often accomplish very little. They don't determine who is right, only who is left.
I got that. Clever. They don't determine who is right, only who is left. Often, I have to deal with a certain personality. And it can be rather challenging, to say the least. I could use help identifying and dealing with low EQ behaviors.
Everyone can. Okay, here are 3 behaviors that some estimate account for 75% or more of conflict. I have named them JOT behaviors for short, J-O-T.
Let me think. JOT can stand for something small or something that is done in a hurry.
Excellent. That's one reason I enjoy chatting with you, Frank. You are always learning. If you let your emotions run away with themselves, you can say or do something relatively small, but fail to think it through, and it can create conflict. Birds fight with birds. Humans fight with humans. And sometimes, birds and humans fight with each other. Burning a relationship bridge is a bad idea, because you might need that bridge in the future.
And how do you describe JOT behaviors?
J stands for jumping to conclusions. O stands for overreacting. And T stands for taking things personally.
Oh, wow! I can sure relate to that! How about you, Oz?
Now, I remember a letter from a listener that described JOT exactly. Seems a female had met a male and they were getting chummy. He didn't show up to an appointment. She got mad, jumped to the conclusion that he was a feathery flake, overreacted, and sent him a nasty message. And you cannot take unkind words back. Told him she was taking this as a personal insult and never wanted to hear from him again.
Oh, I remember that. Turned out his twin had been in a dreadful accident, and naturally, her friend had dropped everything to rush to his side. She found that out later and was very sorry. But after getting her nasty message, the male had moved on. She tried everything to get him back. Never worked.
Sad story. Hear similar ones all the time. JOT behaviors can be lethal. Identifying JOT behavior is not rocket science, Frank. Everyone but everyone has done them. Some more than others.
I just know you have a solution, Doc. Tell me you have a solution.
Smart bird. There is an antidote. I call it AAA replacement behaviors. They represent learned EQ skills, and they go like this. Ask questions to find out what really happened, instead of jumping to conclusions that may be way off base and out in left field. Act calmly as you assess the situation to avoid an overreaction. An emotional tsunami can wreck relationships. Alter your perception of the situation to avoid taking it personally. It may have nothing to do with you, as Oz just pointed out from that listener's letter. Matter of fact, in most cases when there is conflict and misunderstanding, only 30% has anything to do with the present situation or event. 70% relates to the past history of the birds or humans.
You are my favorite brain function specialist, Doc.
Thank you, Frank, but How many brain function specialists do you know?
None that I like better than you.
You got out of that one very smoothly, Frank. Our thanks to you, Frank, for hosting this segment, and to you, Dr. Taylor, for being our lovely guest.
It is always a pleasure. Cheers for now.
All right, sign us off, Frank. My bird brain's opinion is that we could use some AAA around here.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Brain Function Podcast. Until next time, this is Frank and Oz signing off and suggesting that you replace your JOT behaviors with AAA replacement behaviors. I certainly am going to start adding AAA behaviors to my EQ skills.
See? You weren't actually that bad. I knew you weren't even nervous.
Are you joking? I was completely nervous. Oh, the dreamboat! The dreamboat! Arlene R. Taylor is amazing. I am so glad that we are done with that segment. That was so stressful. How do you do that?
Well, Frank, for some, I guess it just, I guess it just comes naturally.
I could never.